All right, good morning. It's Thursday, August 27th. You should be on the bell ringer. You should have brought up the assignment in Canvas for Thursday, August 27th. Should look like this. Your bell ringer is write a sentence in your journal that uses 3 pronouns correctly. That's what you should be doing right now. Get in Canvas, get out in your journal. You had 30 minutes to do all this because you've been sitting in here. The same journal, you do everything every day. Every single day. Since school, since Monday, you don't need to be on this. Every single day since beginning of school, you have this ELA journal in Google Drive, and every single day your bell ringer is supposed to be there. Did you create one and share it with me? Where is it? There it is. Aylin, ELA journal. Right there. Your ELA journal is in Google Drive. You should be accessing it every day and adding to it. When I access it this weekend on Saturday morning after I go for my run, and then I come home and I'm chilling on the couch checking off for the week, I should be able to pull up your journal and see 5 days worth of bell ringers. Saturday morning about 7 o'clock when I'm sitting on my couch, drinking my Diet Mountain Dew, I need to see all 5 bell ringers on your ELA journal, that Google Doc. All right, somebody give me an example of their sentence that uses 3 pronouns correctly. Give me an example. What'd you write? Did you write a sentence? Amina? Okay. Real loud. You only have to write one sentence if you use 3 pronouns. I. She couldn't help me. I went to the store and the cashier said she couldn't help me. Perfect. Did everybody get that? Anybody have questions about pronouns? We're going to do one more. Somebody else, somebody digitally share yours with me. Somebody digitally. Speak up. Unmute. Let's roll. Nobody. Type it in the chat. Tanaya, you going to share yours?
No.
No. Cassie, will you share yours?
I put my favorite color is purple.
What?
My favorite color is purple. Does that count as a pronoun?
Okay, so my favorite color is purple. How many pronouns do you hear? I only heard one. How many do you have to have? 3. Let's help her change it. My favorite color is purple. We got to add some pronouns. My mom is one. My mom and I love our couch because it's purple. My, I, our. You hear it? Do you understand it? All right. Moving quite a lot right along. We're going to skip over number 2 is the Bud Not Buddy chapter 3. We are going to skip that for right now because I want to talk about this context clue thing that was a disaster yesterday. It was a disaster. Disaster. Okay. The context clue practice was a link from yesterday's assignment. When you clicked on the link, it forced you to make a copy. Then you typed and you did the assignment. I'm going to pause just 1 second because people aren't listening.
I'm on it.
You type and do the assignment. Then you click the blue share in the upper right-hand corner of the assignment. Click Get Shareable Link. Go to where it's turned in on Canvas and submit it. Okay. We're going to walk through it right now. It's going to take me a minute to walk through it because I'm going to screen share for you guys and I'm going to project it for the guys here. So it's going to be kind of slow. We're going to do it together and walk through every step because I cannot tell you how many people did it wrong, even though I went over it in class. Okay, here we go. Screen share. All right, so now you can see my computer, right? We need to go to the assignment from yesterday. So I can show you how to do this. In student view, where's student view? All right, the assignments. Okay, Wednesday was yesterday. That's where the assignment should be. Here's the assignment. When you click on that link, it forces you to make a copy. You click make a copy. You do the work. Fill this in. You can change this up here. That'll be fine. This is Mickey Mouse's assignment. Okay. I've done it. Mickey Mouse is done. It's perfect. He's going to click this blue share button in the upper right-hand corner, and it's going to look like this. When you click, change it to anyone, and copy the link, that means anybody with the link to that assignment can access it. That way, when you upload it into Canvas, I can see it. Okay? So anyone with the link, copy link. You guys see this? Copy link. Do you see what I'm doing? Okay, then you need to go back to Canvas. So it looks like this. And look at here. You see this right here? Woo! I see some people's eyes getting big. Do you see that? What do you see? Submit assignment. What are you going to click on? Submit assignment. And then right here, what do you put? That link that we just pasted. Control V will paste it, and then blue, submit assignment. And it will say assignment submitted successfully. Right here. That's where you paste the link. Then you press, okay? And then when your mama comes home and she says, Mickey Mouse, did you do your work today for Miss Russell? You can say, look, Mom, right here it says, what does it say right here? What does it say right here? It says, it shows, once I paste a website here, it shows what? Sorry, I'm having to catch them up. It shows submitted. Over here. You guys can't see it because but it shows submitted. Look, Gavin. You see where it says submitted, Maylene? See where it says submitted? So when Mama comes home and Mickey Mouse is trying to play Xbox or Fortnite or whatever you want to play, Mama's gonna say, "I need you to show me you submitted your assignment for Miss Russell." And Mickey Mouse is gonna say, "Look right here, Mom. It says what? What does it say right there where my mouse is? Submitted assignment." Do you understand? If I did not get your assignment through Canvas last night, you have a 0 for this assignment. You need to get it done. Do you understand? Okay, the other thing that was assigned yesterday, which more people did, was the lost colony. Click on Wednesday, right here. The first click is going to be what? The questions and the passage. Then, how do you put your answers? You click on the second link. See, I said answers go here. Does everybody understand how to do the lost colony? Then some people still didn't do the exit ticket. I have people sitting in this room right now who were sitting in this room yesterday and still have not done the exit ticket from yesterday. I don't understand. Every single day, you have an assignment for my class. It will have the date and it will have 1, 2, 3, whatever. This is what we're doing. I did it. You did not submit an exit ticket yesterday. Speaking of exit tickets, let's go ahead right now in the beginning part of class and do the exit ticket word of the day, because I don't want to always do it at the end of class. What's going to be the word of the day today? Directions. Follow directions. The word of the day is directions. Okay, don't go to the exit ticket right now because we're still having class, but you can do it when we get done. I want you to be listening, so don't leave me right now. I'm going to pull up the context clue activity, and we're going to talk through it together. So if you will pull up yours on your screen, we're going to talk through it together. And people that are virtual, I need you to participate. Number 1, dignity. Even when the police officers put the handcuffs on my mother, she maintained her dignity, holding her head up high as she marched off the protest site. What has she got, Amina? Honor. Good. Dyson? Confidence. You should already have done this. Have you not already done it? If your answer is incorrect, you may correct it, but this is something you should have already done. Even when the police officer put the handcuffs on her mother, she maintained her blank, holding her head up high as she marched off the protest site. She maintained her honor. She maintained, perfect. What clues led you to that? She held her high. That is the clue. Good. Number 2, splendid. The rays from the rising sun shined splendidly through our kitchen window. What does splendidly mean? Brightly? What? Cutely? Beautifully? Cassie?
Magnificent.
Magnificent. I love that. Yes, absolutely. Clues that are in that sentence. Shined, rays. You're thinking about the way something comes in the window? It is to that degree. Does that make sense? All right. Particle. John was so hungry he didn't leave a single particle of the muffin on the plate. A single blank on the plate. Gavin. Problem? Crumb. Yes. He didn't leave a single crumb. Clue that's in that sentence. Single.
Hungry.
Hungry. Yes, absolutely. Perfect. All right. Number 4, elegant. Cassie took her time when she wrote in cursive, slowly making each word out of an elegant series of arcs and loops. Tell me about elegant. Somebody who hasn't spoken yet. Somebody who had Tyrus, Julie, Jerry, Tanaya. I see your hands up, but I don't know what your name is. Jordan? Is that you, Jordan?
What the elegant means, it's saying like she did it like carefully and she didn't eat.
Carefully, okay. What does elegant mean, Dyson? Fancy. So what are some clues? She had to do it slowly, arc, loops, cursive. So it tells you, good. Tells you the type of writing, good. Injustice. Kevin thought it was a great injustice that girls could wear earrings in school while the boys could not. Was injustice. The prefix in means what? Not. In means not. Should be up there on the wall. So what is injustice? Jalea.
Probably not fair.
Not fair. Perfect. Clue words, Jalea?
The girls could wear earrings and the boys couldn't.
Could not. So somebody is able to do it and somebody is not, and we feel like that is not fair. Perfect. Number 6. After Gears of Pain 6 came out, the amount of people playing Gears of Pain 5 declined. Declined. If it declined, what does that mean, Lily? It went down. Clue word? Something else just came out. So if something new came out, then most likely the other will go down. All right, paradise. When Rex had a bone, a warm spot to lie, and someone petting him, he was in paradise. Gavin? Enjoying it? It was good or bad? Good. Keywords? He has a bone. He has a warm space. He has someone patting him. These are all positive things or negative things? Good. So that says paradise is a positive thing. Alvin went to the museum every Saturday because he was so fascinated by art. If he's going there every day, what does fascinated mean, Lily? He thinks it's very cool. He's very interested. Good. Cassie, yearn. Even though John had a good job and a nice family, he yearned for more.
He longed or asked for more.
Longed. How do you know? Clue words.
Because he had a good job and a nice family, but he wanted more. And that would
But then you see more. That's right. Good. Since professional athletes have to stay in peak physical shape, most athletes seldom eat junk. Gavin? Rarely. Clue words. Peak. That's right. If you're in peak physical shape, would you eat junk food? No. Delicate. Tracy held the flower as gently as she could, fearing that the delicate stem would break. Amina? Soft. So is it tough? It's the opposite of tough because it might what? Break. Keyword, the opposite of tough. All right. Jeannie didn't like the jacket her mother brought her until several strangers made remarks about how much they liked it. Maylin? You're not following along? You're not here today? What you doing, baby? You're not supposed to be writing anything. We do everything digital. Jordan?
For remarks, like means comments.
Comments. Perfect. What kind of clue word do you have? How much they
At the end, it says about how much they liked it.
that's right. They made comments about how much they liked it. Perfect. Okay. Any clues about questions about context clues? We're going to talk just a smidge tomorrow about context clues, and then you have a context clue quiz on Monday. And I'm going to show you the formatting that's going to be tomorrow with the kind of questions you're going to see. If you have questions about context clues, please email me. We are going to shift gears now and go to Bud Not Buddy. Chapter 3. Bud is in the
Shed.
So I followed Mr. Amos. I kept the chapter 3.
Okay, chapter 3. I got to get my book. Where's my book? So when we left Bud, he was being left in the shed by the Amoses for the night because he could not behave. Supposedly, he's fighting Todd, getting in trouble. So he's going to have to sleep in the shed. What's he scared of in the shed? He thinks what? There's blood. What else? Amina? It's very dark. Todd had told him several things that kind of were scary that we talked about yesterday are probably not true. All right, we are going to get started with chapter 3.
The only thing I could hear was my own breath. It was so loud that it sounded like there were 6 scared people locked up in the shed. I closed my eyes and thought real hard about making my breathing slow down. Pretty soon, it sounded like the 5 other breathers in the shed had left. I was still scared, but now it was that get real excited and want to move around kind of scare. It didn't take too long for my eyes to get used to the dark. There was a gray gas can in one corner next to a bunch of gray rakes, and a pile of gray rags, and a gray tire next to some gray fishing poles. Maybe Mr. Amos had only pretended to lock the door. I reached my hand toward the gray doorknob, and quick as that, I went from kind of calm to being in that stand in one place with spit drooling down the front of your shirt kind of scared. Halfway up the door were 3 little flat monster heads guarding the doorknob. Each head had 2 little round eyes staring right at me. The eyes were the only thing in the shed that weren't gray. They were a bright yellow with a big black spot right in the middle. I dropped my blanket and pillow and backstepped until my legs hit the woodpile behind me. From all the fast breathing going on, you'd have thought the 5 other scared people had come back and brought a couple of scared friends with them. Each head had a wide open mouth with a sharp set of pointed teeth and lips smiling back, ready to bite. It felt like the shed was getting smaller and smaller. The little mouths were getting closer and closer. Then I knew what I was looking at. The doorknob guards were 3 dried out fish heads that someone had nailed to the door. I ran over to the pile of rags and poked at one of them with my shoe to make sure there weren't any rats or centipedes hiding under it. Then I picked it up and hung it over the fish heads so I couldn't see them and they couldn't see me. I picked up my blanket and pillow and had to decide what was the best way to sleep. Now, I knew the floor was no good. I'd have bet all sorts of bugs and roaches were crawling around. I remember what happened to my best friend Bugs when a cockroach crawled in his ear one night at the home. 4 grown folks had held Bugs down whilst they tried to pull it out with a pair of tweezers, but the only thing that did was pull the roach's back legs off. When they were digging around in Bugs's ears with the tweezers, you'd have thought they were pulling his legs off, not some cockroaches. I'd never heard a kid scream that loud. After about 15 minutes of Bugs screaming the joint down, they said they were going to have to take him to the emergency room to get the roach out. It was almost morning when Bugs got back. Everyone was asleep except me. I waited until they put him in his bed and turned off the lights. I said, "Did they get it out?" He said, "Oh, hi, Bud. Yeah, they got him." "Did it hurt a lot?" "Nope." "Were you scared?" "Nope." "Then how come you were screaming so doggone loud?" He said, "I didn't know I was. I probably couldn't hear me screaming because that roach was so loud." I'd seen lots of roaches, but I'd never heard one of them make any sound. I said, loud how? Well, bugs ain't so different from us as you think. Soon as he saw those tweezers coming at him, he was pretty terrified and commenced to screaming in English too, not some bug language like you'd expect from a roach. Yeah? What'd he say? All he kept yelling was, my legs, my legs, why have they done this to my legs? That's the true story about how bugs started getting called bugs.
All right, Christopher Paul Curtis did another one of those little commercials where he stepped away from the story and he told another story, kind of like the teeth story when he was talking about being sick. Okay, he's taking another moment to tell this little commercial break about this whole bugs thing. Now, when we talked about the commercial about your teeth, losing teeth, we said that the purpose of that was so you could relate, because all the readers of this book most likely have had teeth fall out, right? Have lost teeth. So it was something that you could relate to, and you can make a text to self connection. So now I ask you, thinking about along those same lines, why might Christopher Paul Curtis have included this story about the cockroach and bugs here? There are a lot of bugs and stuff in the shed. And I think Christopher Paul Curtis is trying to make light. How many of you have ever been scared and somebody makes a joke? Yeah, and does it make it a little better? So I think Christopher Paul Curtis might be using what? Using what? Jokes or humor to make this situation seem a little bit better. He inserts this story here about bugs and a cockroach. He even pulls in some personification. Is that a word you've heard across the street? He pulls in some personification to talk to you about this crazy cockroach saying, my legs, somebody has pulled off my legs. And a cockroach yelling about his legs is probably something that you can think is quite what? Funny. Does that make sense? Remember about bugs, because you're going to hear about him later. We're going to come back to him as the story goes on.
I'd bet $1,000 that there were roaches on the floor of this shed just waiting to crawl in someone's ear. And I bet those Amoses wouldn't even try to pull a roach out. And who knows how long I'd have had to listen to some terrified roach screaming his head off right up against my eardrum. I spread the blanket on top of the woodpile and climbed up on it. This put me so I was even with the window. I took a piece of bark and brushed all the spider webs from in front of the window. Then I put my hand on the glass to see if the newspaper was pasted on from the inside or the outside. I touched paper. I spread my fingers and my hand looked like a yellow jacket bumblebee, bright yellow with black stripes. This was a great place to have shadow puppets, so I made my hand be a wolf and a dog and a duck. After a while, that got to be pretty boring. So I scraped at the paper with my fingernails so I could see outside. But I like to keep my nails bit down real low, and the paper didn't budge. I took out my jackknife and tried scraping the newspaper with it. The paper peeled away in little curly strips, like that stuff rich people throw on New Year's Eve. I finally got a hole big enough to look out and mashed my eye up against the glass. I could see the back of the Amos house real clear. There was a light on. That had to be Mr. and Mrs. Amos's bedroom. The little bit of light that came through the hole in the paper made me get calm enough that I could lay my head on my pillow and take a nap. When I blinked my eyes open, the first thing I noticed was that the light from the Amos's bedroom was out. The next thing I noticed made me wish I'd stayed asleep. Up at the very top of the shed was the biggest vampire bat you'd ever see. He was hanging upside down asleep, but the smell of me rising up to him would probably wake him up at any minute. I reached over to the window and tried to slide it open. It budged an inch. I rolled off the wood pile and crawled toward the door with the fish head guards. I reached my hand up and the doorknob turned. Mr. Amos was trying to help me, but after the door opened a crack, the padlock and chain on the outside held it tight. I looked back up into the rafters to see if the bat had woke up. He was still sound asleep. Just like
Using context clues, what are rafters? Gavin? What? Yeah, like it's like a beam that goes across the top of the barn that makes up the like frame of the barn.
there's a time that a smart person knows enough is enough. There's a time when you know you got to fight. I wasn't about to let this vampire suck my blood dry without a war. He could kiss my wrist if he thought that was going to happen. I got up off my knees and picked up the gray rake. I walked over to the woodpile, cool as a cucumber, but inside, every part of my guts was shaking. I stood up on the woodpile and held the rake like it was a Louisville slugger. I eyed where the bat was sleeping and revved the rake like I was going to hit a 400-foot home run. Just before I swung, I remembered another one of Bud Caldwell's rules and things for having a funner life and making a better life out of yourself. Rules and things, number 328. When you make up your mind to do something, hurry up and do it. If you wait, you might talk yourself out of what you wanted in the first place. Shucks, I couldn't remember for sure if you killed a vampire by driving a stake in its heart or by shooting it with a silver bullet. If I was wrong and didn't kill the bat right away, I was going to be trapped in the shed with a vampire who was probably going to be real upset that someone had woke him up by whacking him with a rake. I took my jackknife out of my pocket and pulled the blade open. That way, if I didn't kill him with the rake and it came down to the two of us tussling on the floor, or maybe a silver blade in his heart would be just as good as a silver bullet, unless that was what you had to do with werewolves. I raised the rake over my head again, closed my eyes, and swung it like I was Paul Bunyan chopping down a tree with one blow. I felt the rake jerk a little when it hit the bat, and I opened my eyes just in time to see the vampire get kind of surprised it didn't scream or cry or say,
Who's Paul Bunyan? It was like a cat. It was like a big, huge man, and he had a babe was his ox. It was a blue ox. It's kind of like a tall tale. And he was this huge man that did logging and stuff, and he would swing his axe. So he's comparing himself. It's called an illusion. When you refer to a famous piece of work, he's referring to that famous tall tale. So is this really a vampire bat that he's about to hit with the rake? You don't think? Let's find out.
"Hey, curses, you got me." Instead, the only sound I heard was a kind of rattling, like a couple of pieces of paper rubbing together or like dry leaves blowing around in the wind. The next sound I heard was even worse than if the vampire had said, "Aha, you doggone kid, that hurt, but now I get my revenge." It sounded like I turned on a buzzsaw in the shed. All of a sudden, it felt like someone had stuck a red-hot nail right into my left cheek. My hand reached up to grab my cheek, and I felt something creepy and prickly there. I brought my hand back down, and it was holding the biggest, maddest hornet I'd ever seen. I squeezed my hand shut to crush it, but it got in another sting on my palm. What I thought was a vampire bat hanging on the ceiling was really a hornet's nest, and now there were about 6,000 hornets flying around the tiny shed, and each and every one of them was looking for me. Another fire nail went into my knee, and the second one went into my sock. Maybe this was why the other kid that they found in here had been.
So Lily, was it a vampire bat? What was it? A hornet's nest. A hornet's nest. And now he's trapped in the barn. He doesn't even have anywhere to go, and they're flying all around. He can't get out.
As big as a whale. He was swole up from all the hornet stings. I dropped my shoulder down and charged at the door with all my might. The door banged against the lock but didn't budge an inch. All that happened was the rag I'd covered the fish heads with came off, and I got bounced back and landed square on the floor. I jumped up again. This time when I charged the door, I put my hand out like Paul Robeson running down the football field. This wasn't a real good idea. I forgot all about the fish head.
So who do you think Paul Robeson is? A famous
Football player.
football player. Right.
Door guards. My fingers went right into the mouth of the biggest one, and his little needle teeth cut me like a razor. I pulled my hand back and screamed. Another hornet buzzed into my ear, and it felt like someone had poured hot wax right down into my brain. The only thing I could think to do was jump on the woodpile and bust the glass out of the window. I grabbed the handles of the window and gave them one more jerk. I guess being scared gives you a lot of strength, because this time the window flew open with a loud bang. 3 hornets found me at the same time, and all 4 of us fell out the window. As soon as we hit the ground, I rolled as far away from the shed as I could go. I smacked and whacked the hornets that had taken a ride on me and just laid there until I could catch my breath. After a while, the stings and the fish guard bite quit hurting so much. I started getting madder and madder. I was mad at the Amos.
How did he get out of the barn, Maylin? Maylin, how did he get out of the barn? The window? Yes, go. The window flew open with a bang, and he jumped out and rolled onto the grass. So he's out of the shed now.
Says, but most of all, I was mad at me for believing there really was a vampire in the shed, and for getting trapped like this where there wasn't anybody who cared what happened to me. I simmered down and started thinking about getting even. I wonder how hard I'd have to pull the trigger on that double-barrel shotgun for it to go off. I sneaked up the back porch steps to get inside the house. Maybe the vampire bat didn't say it, but the only thought on my mind was, aha, you doggone Amoses, that hurt. But now I get my revenge.
All right, that's where we're going to stop for today. So now what is Bud going to do? He's outside the barn. The Amoses in their house are all asleep, and he's got to he's what? He's going to get the shotgun. Any other predictions? We're not sure what he's going to do. He's going to be on his own, isn't he? All right, we're going to pick up there tomorrow. We're not going to pick up there tomorrow. We're actually going to stop there for the week, because tomorrow we're going to do a Bud Not Buddy suitcase activity that I'll explain tomorrow. Today, your responsibility is to go back from yesterday and make sure you submitted that assignment correctly. Make sure you have completed it. Make sure you completed the Lost Colony. I'm giving you extra time. We're having a shortened class today, because a lot of people need extra time to go back and look into yesterday's work. If you need help, email me. If you need help, watch this video from the beginning again when I gave step-by-step directions. Okay? Have a good day. I said the word of the day earlier in the video. If you need to go back and watch it again, I'm not repeating it. And don't forget to fill out your exit ticket. I will see you tomorrow.
Bye.